And we're live now. Good day of time, everyone. Whatever part of the world you're right now. I'm Tanya Zebrova, the Scopy Director, and we're very glad to see you all here together with us at our next webinar, which is called How to Improve the Work with Tutors. And this webinar is presented by the amazing ladies who were taking part in the small working group, the Work with Tutors. And those amazing ladies are Gabriela Macedo, our Scopy Regional Assistant for Americas from IFMC Brazil, and Sarah Darwish, the member of IFMSA Joe from Jordan. Hello, girls.
Hello, everyone.
Okay.
Hello,
And
everyone. How are you?
yeah, and quickly to let you know what we're going to be discussing today is, of course, the topic of how to better work with tutors in our exchange programs. And without further ado, I'm giving the word to Gabby. So, Gabby, please introduce the
Okay,
topic to
let's
us.
go. Thank you very much, Tanya. Okay, everyone. So let's start with how to improve our work with tutors. So a brief summary. Okay, why did we have the small working group on work with tutors? Our objectives during the small working group. How was the small working group? And then we're going to share our outcomes, which were the tutor application forms, the evaluation form, and the guidelines. And the final part will be how can the outcomes of the small working group help us? And you always feel free to make questions on the chat in the comment section, okay? So basically, why did we have to do this small working group? Well, firstly, we have had some issues in the past, which we are trying to avoid. Basically, they were some cancellations due to unavailability of the tutor or change of departments because some issues regarding the tutor or not speaking the languages. So that's like the most important thing that we are trying to avoid and trying to prevent for the future. Also, we are trying to improve the tutors' work and raise the number of tutors in Scopy program. Also, increase their involvement. And because we already have the manual for tutors, but we felt that it was kind of lacking some like information on recruitment of tutors and reflecting tools for improving the exchanges. So the main objectives of the small working group were to create the application form, the tutors evaluation form, and the guidelines on the work with tutors. And we managed to do it. Yay! So how was our small working group? Well, it was pretty well defined in those both gifts. We worked a lot and we got very tired, but it was an amazing experience, as I can say. So what did we do? We had 4 online meetings and it was like divided monthly. We had a division of 3 subgroups, one for each area, one for application form, one for evaluation form, and one for the guidelines. And during each online meeting, we did a checkup and feedback of each subgroup work. Then we sent to the Scopy IT for inputs when it was all done. And after the Scopy IT inputs time, we sent to the news for the inputs. And after it was ready, it was sent to the public relations team. And now we are having this webinar. During the webinar, we will show you some of the materials, but in the Google Docs version, because the official, very beautiful, handsome version, it's not yet available, but it will be available very soon. Sarah, do you want to say a bit about your experience on the small working group?
Yes, for sure. Hello, everyone. My name is Sarah, Leo from IFMC Jordan. I'm participant in this SWG, working with tutors. Actually, this is my first time working in international SWG. Actually, I work with people from different countries for the sake of exchange program improvements to approach tutors. And as what Gabby said, we divide the work into 3 subgroups, and we work on everyone Uh, I worked in the application form section. We made like really great job and really good work in this. We will explain it further. And that's it.
Okay. So the outcomes were the three documents creation, and they will be available on the new and Leo folder on the subfolder number 10, small working group outcomes. And after it's released on the new and Scopus server, we'll also add in another section which will be defined later. Okay. So now let's go check the outcomes. I'm gonna stop sharing here the PPT. And here, I hope you can see it. So Sarah, go shine, girl.
Yes, here we are. We're gonna start with the tutors application form. Uh, First of all, just a minute. Okay. Uh, Actually, we made this application form for the tutors. We made it exactly with many content. First of all, we started with the identification, like some personal info about the name, department, degree, as what you can see in this example, some personal info and previous experience for the tutor. And we here, as what you can see, ask many questions about if the tutor has um, participated in exchange before or something, uh, teaching uh, foreign students in English before, like having foreign students from all around the world. Also, um, if he deal if he had ever dealt with students from different countries, like if he delivered some trainings, workshops, teaching some students from outside. And lastly, uh, have he or she ever taken a part in a voluntary work? Some questions just to know the tutor uh, and if he or she qualified for this position. The most important thing is the availability. Like as what you can see, there's a calendar for each month, and he's gonna fill it with the. You can see here there's some spots um, according to his availability, if he can work during this month. Also, uh, if he have ever facilitated any educational activities, like for example, workshops, suturing workshops in surgical departments, like if we are in internal medicine, we can, in cardiology, for example, if he dealt with the students in the cath lab, for example, if he delivered any lectures or uh, clinical cases with the students, rotations, for example, all these things like educational activity. Uh, Also, here's some free space if he wants to add some additional information, some notifications, some like any comments. And the other section was about the clerkship. As we said, the first section is about the tutor himself, some personal info, some academic info, and now we're moving to the section 2, which is the clerkship. Um, Here, as you can see, it's about the exchange students, the working days per week, and the working hours per day, if there's night shifts or no, um, about the exchange students that he's going to take care of them, and he will be the supervisor. if he wants some special requirements from the students, he can ask for. Like what you can see here as the example in the blue, Dr. Puter, for example, as what you can see. And there's like schedule for every day. Like the first day we have like case discussion. We can have like rounds, surgeries, and things, as what you can see in this example, just for more clarification. Also, we have under that the ability to host exchange for more than 4 weeks. Uh, if the exchange program needs, he can. It depends on his availability. If he can or not, he will answer. And also, uh, just to confirm that he's accept the IFMSA exchange program regulations and guidelines, and he agree in teaching the incoming students that was assigned to him. We need also this signature and the stamp of the tutor, and also the signature and the stamp of the local exchange officer, the LEO. So basically, it's focusing on communication between the tutor, local officer, and the incoming students. And that's it.
Okay. So that's the field example of the tutor's evaluation form. We'll have also the official one for you, which will be empty, of course, don't worry. But just for you to have an idea of what you have to do. Okay. So moving on to the evaluation form, it's also divided into 3 sections. The section A will be like, how did you find working with the IFMSA exchange program? If they are strongly unsatisfied until strongly satisfied, if there was any problem that they have faced, yes or no, and then if they had any problem, then there will be a space for him to also explain. If the tutor is satisfied with the duration of the exchange, if not, which would be the best period on his opinion. And so here just like the 2, 6, and 8 weeks, because then 4 is the regular time. And then do you have any recommendations for the exchange team? The section B would be evaluating the student that he was working with. So from 1 to 10, was the student attending their clerkship regularly? Any problems within the language? So strongly disagree until strongly agree. How do you evaluate the difference between working with incoming students and local students? How can we reduce this difference if it exists? And if they achieve the goals that you set for them? And section C, more like a personal vision. So did you find this experience useful for you? If the answer was yes or maybe, what was the most useful part of this experience? How do you evaluate the work with the LEO? Do you have regular contact during the year with the LEO? If he had received a tutor certificate, if the certificate is useful, is there any problem that you faced? If after this experience, are you motivated to keep working with the IFMSA exchange program? And if he would suggest the program for other doctors. So it's basically those 3 areas. So like focusing on the exchange program, focusing on the exchange experience that he had with incoming, and the personal side. And focusing now on the guidelines, Sarah.
Yes. Here we are with the guidelines. Uh, for the tutors guidelines, we have set actually some main points just to make sure that our exchange is going perfectly. Uh, it's divided into 7 main points. First of all, it's about selecting the tutor. It depends on many things like the availability. If he speaks English, he would be highly recommended to teach the incoming. Also, if he has any general idea about IFA topics, Scotty exchange, if he knows the regulations. Uh, so that's mainly, and for sure, the availability is the most important thing. The second thing is about the role of the tutors. Uh, Actually, he's at the end he's a supervisor, so we made some points that he's going to help the incoming in the medical practitioner and knowledge, and also he's going to assist him to enhance his skills and meet the learning objectives. Also, he's going to supervise definitely the student whenever he do any procedure with him, and when he communicate with patients, and do many things. Also, like keep in touch with the Leo for necessary information regarding the incoming student. Also, keep in touch with the Leo also if there any problem happens in the hospital or with the students. And also, okay, also to check if the student is filling his handbook and attending the clerkship, like what we have in IFSA guidelines, like you have to attend 80% of the clerkship in order to get your certificate be signed. So he needs to supervise everything about that and keep in touch with the Leo for these things. Also, we made some communication guidelines between the tutor and the Leo or the contact person, uh, just to make sure that the exchange quality is going uh, so good. Um, and in case if there is any struggle or anything, any problem, the tutor is going to contact the Leo and like fix everything with him or her. Uh, and there's some ground rules we have made for IFNSA exchange program about the tutor that he should define specific learning outcomes with the incoming student from the first days of the exchange, and he must be available during the days and the period of the exchange. Uh, and not to be absent because he is supervising an incoming, and he should take care of him and teach him everything he needs, he expected to learn. Um, Also, for sure, respect the social, the culture. Like, in every country it differs and there's some varieties. Um, the next thing is about the obligations and the rights of the tutor. Okay, as you can see here, the tutor has the right to like stop the exchange in case the student didn't follow the rules of the hospital or break any rules in the hospital, which has been agreed on uh, before the exchange, and the Leo for sure should be informed about that. The tutor is also obligated uh, to find another students in case their work is not productive or he sees that there's miscommunication between the students and the tutor, and yeah, so on. There's some rights and obligation the tutor should respect, and the students also. Um, if there's in case of cancellations and substitutions of the exchange, um, in case the tutor wants to cancel like the exchange, he must inform the Leo like before 1 month of the exchange period from the first day. Uh, like in case of cancellation, after this period, he must find like a substitution, like another tutor for that, to take care of the student. which was assigned to him. Also, in case the way further to be between the Leo and the tutor, and also if the incoming is absent, the tutor must inform the Leo or the contact person in order to take some actions if this happened. The last thing is about the consequences of breaking the guidelines. If the tutor breaks any guideline of what we have mentioned before, the tutor will not get the certificate. He will not be allowed to participate in the next season in the exchange program, Scotty exchange program. And the last thing is in the extreme cases, like he might be paused immediately until further clarification. So we'll stop him and find another tutor or deal with another tutor and take further actions with him. And he will not be able to participate in the exchange for the next season. The last thing we made like some abbreviations list for the tutor just to make sure that he knows everything about IFNCA in general and Scopy for more clarification for the tutor and the incomings. And that's it. It's Gabby.
Oh, okay. So, how can the outcomes of the small working group help us? So, basically, the application form, well, as you can see, we can collect information about the tutor, the availability, so not to overwhelm Leos, contact person, and Neos, and to avoid cancellations, having more quality on the exchanges, especially about knowing about the tutor's background and previous experiences, and preparing education activities as well, especially according to the department and then their interest.
Yes.
Sarah, do you have any ideas for the education activities?
Yes, like prepare educational activities according what you have said according to the department. If the student is assigned in the surgical departments, maybe the tutor could make some workshops, some uh, interesting cases, some interesting grounds, like for example workshops in surgical departments, like make a suturing workshop um, for the incomings. Also make like first aid workshop, like including the CPRs, including the um, emergency cases, actions, how to deal with them, and so on. Also, another example in internal medicine, as what I said in cardiology, to make the students, to introduce the students to the cath lab and give them some general idea about that. And yes, that's it. And there's many other educational things, educational activities, but we're just giving some small examples.
Okay, so also from the evaluation form, as you can see, we can collect some feedback from the exchange program. So we can see also areas for us as Leos, as contact persons, as Neos. Where can we improve? And also, should we sign with this tutor again? Because if we see that he's having a hard time with languages, or if you felt that he didn't get along well with exchange students, with foreigner students, so you can also reconsider that
Yeah,
in order always to keep the quality.
maybe also the availability is the most important thing for the tutors.
Yes, indeed. The availability is like the top important thing, which, well, both application form and the evaluation form, you can still collect that. And also in the guidelines, Sarah?
Yes, so uh, how can the outcome of the small working group help us in the guidelines? Actually, it mainly improves our exchange program, like how to deal with the tutors, how could the LEOs and the CPs contact the tutors, just to make sure that the exchange is going perfect with the incomings, and the incoming is taking what he or she expected from the tutor. This is the most important thing, and both of them like should respect the guidelines and should follow them in order just to make sure that to avoid any problems between the tutor and the incomings, between the tutor and the Leo or contact person also, like what are your tutor, uh, the duties also for the tutors and the students, like in the guidelines we have mentioned the duties for each one, like the tutor should follow them. For example, he must supervise the student, he must uh, teach him, like if he's, for example, in the surgical department, he must teach him some basic things just to make sure that he is well prepared to enter the surgery, he's well prepared to make rounds, to keep in touch with the patients, and the student also should follow what the tutor said in order just to make sure, again, to avoid any problems. So the guidelines is mainly have been made just to uh, make the exchange like going perfect and avoid any problems. And that's it.
So that was it, guys. The outcomes of our small working group and how you can improve the work with tutors. So now we want to know, do you have any questions? You can just type in the chat/comments area. We'll be very happy to answer them.
And in the meantime, while we're waiting for the questions, I just want to thank the girls very much, and also the whole small working group for this hard work that they have been doing. Thank you, thanks a lot. You have done an amazing job. And just to summarize, in the meantime, while we're waiting for the questions, I want to say that if you try to use all those documents that we're suggesting, it might help you to create the kind of your own database of tutors for your own self. And it will for sure help you to coordinate the whole work. It might help you with the issues that you can have. For example, if you have one emergency cancellation of one of the tutors, then in the database you already have the data about the another tutor who might be able to substitute. So you just go and contact already the person who you know. So I just wanted to add this tiny thing as a suggestion how you can use these documents, and of course it will help you to regulate the relationships between tutors and your incoming students and your local committees as well. And okay, and we have a question which is asking, why is Sarah super awesome, man?
Oh my
I
I
god.
also
totally
don't know. She just rocks. I
Thank
really
you.
have no idea. She's just amazing. Yeah.
Thank you so
Since
much.
I was
I
meeting 18 when I met her, so she's brilliant.
thank you so much for this, and I would like to thank Gabby for the amazing work she did. Actually, and Tanya, we couldn't have done this without your support, without your guides. So thank you so much for this, and the more is yet to come.
thank you. Okay, let's wait for another minute. Maybe we can have more questions.
If anyone have any questions, please write it down here.
Anything related to the work with tutors? Maybe you have faced any problems and then you struggle to find a solution. So probably we can think about it out loud together. We love Gabriel as well.
And yes, David, see you all in Taiwan. Yeah, spoiler alert for my next slide. That was exactly it.
Okay.
So if you have no further questions, well, that would be it. But always feel free to contact us. Okay, you can email me ra.scopy.americas@ifmsa.org. Okay.
Or actually anyone from the IT, if you're
Yeah.
like anyone you feel comfortable to talk to. So it might be anyone, either your regional assistant or general assistant, any of the development assistants, or me as well. So whoever you want to.
If you are a Leo or a tutor even watching this webinar, you can also contact the NEO responsible, and then they will contact the Scopy IT.
Yes. And good luck for your work with tutors. We are pretty sure that you might be able to create the environment within your tutors, a happy working environment.
Thank you, guys.
Okay.
Thank you,
Thank you,
guys.
everyone, and see you in
Bye.
Taiwan. Bye.
See you guys. Bye bye.